All right, guys.
Whoa, we've got an intro song.
Yes, we do. Thanks to a good mate, Sub.
What has happened there? So, our good friend Sub, who is a pretty well known musician, he goes by the tag of Live at Subs, and he's performed internationally and all over Australia. And he actually called us last week as we were recording our podcast. And when we called him back, he was offering us some of his music to use as an intro, and we couldn't possibly think of anyone better to use because Sub is a big recreational fisherman, and we know him through fishing already, and his music kicks ass. So he was kind enough to send us some of his tracks here. So I'll hold one of those CDs up to the camera for those that still use CDs. Hang on.
Yeah.
Got my finger over it. This is real pro.
Yeah.
Some nice shining into the camera too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but we just found a song that we liked from it, and we took a little snippet of it, and that's our new intro.
Yeah, I reckon it suits the show really well. So thanks so much for that, Sub, and we owe you one, and we're sorry that we've been fishing when you're unable to with lockdown, and we promise not to do it ever again.
Speaking about fishing, we actually said that we weren't going to ground out on the snapper early season. We'd fish from, late November, early December, because we couldn't be bothered grinding. But I believe this week alone between the two of us, we've fished 4 days this week.
Yeah, well, if you include Winger as well,
Yeah, that's five
in
times.
the circle of fishing chat, I think we've done like 5 trips.
5 trips this week.
They haven't all been fun either.
Nah. Well, you went off first this week, so how'd you go?
Well, I went out and went out for an afternoon on my own, and I was having such a bad time. The first 2 spots I tried to anchor on, I had wind going opposite the current, and that's what we call a backwards tide.
Oh, mate,
So
the backwards tides.
The boat facing the wrong direction, the baits would be going up in front of the boat, rendering it impossible to fish. There is a thing we can do when we have wind against tide to a lesser degree called bridling to hold the boat into position. But if I was to bridle in these situations, I'd have an anchor hanging off the back of the boat,
Yes.
which is slightly dangerous. So those spots were no good, but certainly sounded up some really good fish. If we want to switch to the phone cam,
Yeah.
this is one of the soundings I got on one of my backwards marks. So that arch there is nearly a metre of snapper, so that's a really good fish, and spewing I couldn't fish that, but I ended up going to a spot that was up the top of French Island that had wind with tide, and had a bad time there for a while too with seaweed all over my lines, and then right towards the end of the tide, the weed relented. I wasn't getting so much weed on my baits, and the snapper were able to get to the baits, and I ended up with 2 pretty nice snapper, and lost 4. So that was pretty upsetting. Lost some really good fish.
How'd you lose 4? I don't get it.
I don't know. A couple of them didn't really hook up. A couple of them I lost halfway through the fight with the hooks just falling out. Snapper have pretty hard bony mouths, so even though our hooks are super sharp, our drags are silky smooth. Sometimes that hook's just not in the right spot, and they manage to shake it out.
Yeah, I guess they just kind of just grab it and run without actually inhaling it sometimes. And yeah.
I don't know. But one of the real big ones was screaming off with line, and it crossed over my other line, and I could feel it on there, but I was on my own. I didn't have enough hands to do anything. And
Yes.
I think the line of the rod it was around ran down and levered the hook out of the fish's mouth. And the boat that was about 2K behind me probably heard me yell a single word starting with F, just once,
Yes.
very loudly.
Was it fishing?
Fishing!
Yes.
Fishing!
So you ended up with 2 and lost 4.
Yeah, 2, lost 4. Biggest one was about 5.5 kilos. So,
Yeah.
Whatever. It's not too bad, but yeah, I was pretty upset that I'd lost the bigger ones. But
Yeah, so Dave was updating all night because he wanted us to go, and we said, nah. So he went by himself, and
No, I just wanted to go on my own, to be honest.
Oh, did you?
I threw some false. I threw some fake invites out there.
Some fake invites.
Just to tick that box.
Yeah. So
But here's a quick little video of this is the smaller of the two fish. Hey guys, persistence pays. That's not a very big one, but so it's some reward for effort.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with that. Put the phone camera up and did a little show off for Adrian. A little bit of tide left. He felt like he was involved. And that was a little one. And then after that, I got this little bit bigger one. I think it was 79 centimeters.
Oh, it deserved a brag mat photo, did it?
Yeah. Wow.
It would have been close to 5.5, that one.
You guys would have probably told me it wasn't that big, so.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't.
I guess so.
So yeah, got back to the ramp at like pretty late. Phil would have them up.
Yes, I love boat ramp trips at midnight.
Yeah. So
What happened? What happened at the boat ramp?
Well, yeah. Yeah, snapper season. It brings out some interesting characters, and as I pulled into the jetty, I could hear the interesting sound of a man's skull hitting the concrete.
Oh, no.
There was a full-on fight going on at the boat ramp.
Yeah.
Yes, not exactly sure what happened, but with my detective work, there was a brake light smashed, and one man apologising, and the other man beating him up.
So this is just a brake light smash. How did the brake light actually smash?
Well, I don't know. Someone must have backed into someone, but I only saw the tail end of it, luckily. So everyone was all right. And just a little reminder that during this busy snapper season, we all keep our cool. And it is just a fun pastime. It's not sheep stations. So
No, it's never fun when you see that.
We don't want to see that. It's extremely awkward for everyone else.
Yes, exactly.
And not great for the guy whose head is hitting the concrete, that's for sure.
Not at all.
I mean, on a serious note, we do see people in the media dying from stuff like that. So that's the last thing we want to see.
Yeah.
So be good, everyone, or else Adrian will come for you.
Not me, mate. If you see me at the ramp, I'm out in the water straight away.
Yeah.
I've got no time to hang around.
I know, we've refined our art, so we're in and out like a SWAT team.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Even when we go solo, we like to go quick.
It's good.
But yeah, because Dave had such a successful trip that night, I've just, I guess, had a bit of FOMO, and I've just launched the next afternoon in the wind again.
You've done a spite trip.
Yeah, I've done a spite trip because, he did so well. So I went out and ground in the wind again, and I ended up with about a 5 kilo fish, and I didn't get the bite window that he had. So, but I got one fish, which is all right. So
yeah, you missed the proper window, but you know,
yeah,
you got one, and you oh, look at that beauty. You got some big hands, Adrian.
Yes. Snapper fishing always brings out the big hands, Dave, as you know.
No, that's a nice fish. Yeah, you missed out on the good bite window, but you still got out there. You had baits in the water, and you're every chance, so good on you.
Well, when you're one up on the boat, you expect everything to go really smooth. Just a couple of snapper here and there. But I had absolute disaster. I had Black Rays taking that rod, Port Jackson's taking another rod, tangling in all the other rods. So you're trying to, this is all happening at once, and you're trying to untangle everything and, stay sane and, I guess, retie everything in an orderly fashion. And there's just mayhem going everywhere.
Yeah. And then I laughed at you because you'd copped all the stingrays.
Yep.
And then I went out with Winger the next day and caught like 7 of them. And I was like, that was definitely karma. But sorry if it's a lot of snapper content in these first few shows, but it's all we can really do at the moment.
Yeah.
We can't go very far. We're the lucky ones that can't even get on the water. So snapper is what is available to us, and we do love it. And it's that time of year. So yeah, there'll be a little bit of snapper content, but hopefully we'll be allowed to go a little bit further and mix it up soon.
Yep. No, 100%, because the local tuna will start up very shortly as well, and we're very keen into casting surface lures on them. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, love it. Wouldn't mind going for a look soon. Mm-hmm. If that's allowed. Is that allowed, Adrian?
I assume so.
If you give me permission, I feel like that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Yep. All right. Beautiful. So another big thing
Yeah.
worldwide.
Oh no, what's happened worldwide?
Squid Game. You heard about this little show?
Yes. We've all watched it about 3 times to understand what actually happens into it. But
Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, I'm pretty notorious for giving things away, so you may want to skip forward a little bit. But Squid Game, disappointingly, not a lot of squid content.
what? They don't catch squid?
I didn't really get any good tips. I was hoping I'd learn some Japanese or Korean egging techniques. Did you get any squid tips from the show, Adrian?
No, I was seeing how to murder a lot of people. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a bit of a letdown. I got a little bit of a bone to pick with Netflix and the creators of Squid Game 2 because I feel like they've slightly ripped off my idea from a couple of years ago.
Yeah? You had an idea?
Yeah, I had this idea, right, that I was going to do a thing called Squid Wars.
Oh, no, we made a few episodes of Squid Wars on YouTube.
No, I think that was Squid Life.
Oh, Squid Life.
So, yeah, we've had the squid genre pretty well covered. But I had a thing called Squid Wars, which was going to be 2 or 3 boats going at each other, trying to catch the most squid.
So
and
basically, hang on. Basically, you've cut off.
There it is.
It's actually made art.
I made art for it. That took me hours.
So you've basically seen the TV series Tuna Wars, basically, and yeah, copied that.
Damn it. I see.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting you to come at me with that. But yeah, look, I'm pretty sure that may sound like it's not exactly the same concept, but I feel that my show probably would have developed to a point where there was going to be murdering in games.
Oh.
Like, you know, Adrian can't catch more squid than me if I sink his boat and he's lost at sea.
Sink my boat.
Yeah. Like, you know, whole sword at the bottom of the hull sort of thing. And
yeah.
that would be, you know, that'd be all right, wouldn't it?
I guess so.
All right. We'll still make that. I think we'll still do that. Squid Game can't sue us, can they?
Nah.
I mean,
they actually don't catch any squid at all. So
yeah. So there is like some squid in a stall at one point. That was pretty interesting to me. I pressed pause on that and reflected upon that for a while. But other than that, yeah. So just thought I'd touch on that pretty big topic of discussion lately, and I feel like it was a little bit of a letdown on the squid fishing front. But nonetheless, worth a look. Would recommend.
yeah. Yeah, sure. Sounds great.
What else has been happening this week, Adrian?
I don't know. We've just been fishing a lot, really.
Just a bunch of fishing.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, we said we weren't going to do it.
No.
And now here I am. We went out this morning, didn't we?
Yeah.
I've only just made it here in time for the podcast because we've been out since 5 a.m. I've been up since 5 a.m. this morning. We launched at 6 a.m. And I've literally just finished packing the boat away and putting the cover on. And, yeah, rushed over here and just straight into the microphone. Like, bang.
Yep.
Started talking.
You're a natural, mate.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah.
That trip wasn't the best, was it? Wasn't too bad.
We caught a couple of snapper, a couple of gummies, and
Yeah. So
nothing special.
we got a rogue gummy. I think we'll throw a little bit of footage of that up because Adrian tried to wrangle it. This is shark wrangling, Adrian style.
Nice to read. Okay, yep, there's a lot going on there. What's that?
Oh, there's coffee brown water.
Yes.
That's what we're fishing in Westport.
What's the actual name of these sharks?
That is a gum dog.
Yep, just a gum dog. And I've just
They're called a gummy shark.
grabbed it by the dorsal fin there and just said...
But what?
I don't recommend doing it either.
Still, my Adrian thought that he just had a man to do it.
Yes.
And then it completely dominated him.
Yeah, no, it did. I impressively lifted it up by the dorsal fin, sat on the gunnels, and I was just going to flick the hook out and let it slide in.
Yeah. So what I could see happening there was the hook that was swinging around free getting stuck in Adrian's hand with a shark connected to the other end. So that's why I was filming that, because I thought it would be really good content for everyone to see. But nonetheless, Adrian remains unharmed.
Yep.
And he did release that shark, and I did film the release, but it was so lame. I'm not going to show you.
It's just a splash in the water.
It just splashed back into the water and went off into the mud to carry on with its life.
Nothing impressive to see there at all.
No. So, anyway.
So what's going on in your life? You got a job now. You're not jobless anymore.
Yeah, finally got a job. I was a week without a job. Started feeling the pressure from everyone, and thought I'd go and contribute to society. And so probably a little bit less fishing, and that's probably why I've been able to fish a lot in the last few days.
Yeah, awesome.
So we have an exciting guest on today, Adrian.
Oh, who's our guest?
Well, I'm messaging her as we speak because this has been a bit of a logistical issue.
Yep.
She's not in Australia, so I might get Adrian to dial her up now.
All right, I'm going to dial her number right now.
According to her, she's ready to rumble.
I hope it's her phone number.
Well, people probably actually know who it is if they've listened to our last podcast. So if they haven't done that, boo. Here we go. So hopefully...
All right, well, we're calling her. So.
Hopefully...
Hey, Nikki,
Hello.
how you going?
Hey.
Hi, Nikki. How you going?
Yeah, not bad.
You'll probably see yourself, but yeah, that's because we're filming and stuff, so you probably see yourself there.
We're not that technologically advanced that you can see anything other than yourself in the phone, but
yeah,
we're still getting set up. So, Nikki, you're coming to us from New Zealand?
Sure am.
Beautiful. So what's happening over in New Zealand at the moment, fishing-wise?
Fishing-wise, well, that's a good question. I've not actually been out in the water for a little while. It's been a couple of weeks, and before that it was a bit longer. I just had a baby, so I'm definitely not on the briny as much as I used to be, unfortunately, but that is slowly changing, as Bubs gets older, and we're actually going to get a boat soon. So,
wow.
Getting out there a lot more.
What kind of boat are you getting?
Babe, what kind of boat is it? It's actually, we're being the fire ant. We're actually, a bit of a story to it. The reason I have to ask Matt is, unfortunately, we lost Matt's dad back in June to the big sea, and his mum has offered us his boat.
Oh, wow.
And it's been in the family, and we want to keep it in the family. And it's a 5-meter fire ant. 5.5 meter fire ant with a 90, I think it's Mercury on the back. So we haven't got it yet. Yeah, but we're pretty excited. And Russell was always a really keen, avid fisherman. So yeah.
Yep. That's beautiful.
Getting out in her name's Kelly. So.
Oh, how good. I had something a little bit similar when I was younger. My father also passed away from cancer, and I inherited his boat. So that's really? It's a very special feeling to be out in something that your dad loved and in his pride and joy. So yeah, I'm sure that'll be awesome for your family too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we're pretty excited to take Oscar out in it. And, it's going to be really special.
That's awesome. Well, we should probably do a proper intro for you because we really just jumped straight in there. Because we're pretty crap podcasters, but we'll get there. So
this is our 4th episode, and we've just decided to put on a big gun on the show.
Yeah, we've got a big gun on. Yeah, so
a big gun. Big gun.
So we have Nikki Wilson on. So Nikki is a very well-known female sports fisherwoman from New Zealand. Probably best known for her show Addicted to Fishing, which aired over here in Australia and on YouTube and obviously over in New Zealand, so pretty well known internationally. Nikki's done all sorts of amazing stuff in the fishing industry. She's got world records to her name with a 361 kilo swordfish, which I noticed she chucked up on her Insta today just to remind us, I think.
Yep.
Because I think last week I robbed her of 10 kilo when I was talking about that one.
Yeah.
So we've got the swordfish world record and amongst a whole heap of other stuff, just insane fishing that pretty much puts us to shame, Adrian. But there's also the recreational fishing advocacy with being a strong female role model in the sport.
We find that incredible. Like, we've never seen a female presenter in the the fishing industry on TV before. So well done on that. That's amazing in itself. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we think you're definitely a little bit of a groundbreaker in that. So we were just probably going to ask you how you got into that industry, whether it was something you sort of fell into or you really wanted to do it for a long time, or how'd you get into that?
Well, I just wanted to go fishing, I'll
Yep.
be honest. That's kind of how it grew. But I did notice, especially growing up as a little fishy girl, I always looked at the TV and I was like, how come there's no chicks like
Yep.
on the shows? Why aren't we allowed to do that? You know, I kind of just didn't understand. And then as I got older, I kind of was out there doing it myself, and I had a boat myself.
Yep.
And I was just like, why can't there be representation of girls out there? We're half the population, where, you know, there's no reason we can't be out there doing it too. It doesn't have to be pink. It can be just fishing hard like the boys and just having fun, you know? So
Yep.
I just thought, you know, imagine if we could. And then Matt Watson actually had a apprentice series that he did, and I applied for that and ended up going on that journey. And I kind of thought he might decide to make a female an apprentice. There was quite a few amazing ladies that I was competing with on the apprentice series, but he decided not to go down that path. And so after that, it just kind of stuck in my mind. And then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to give this a nudge and see what happens. So I got a film crew, called up my mate Sarge from Coastal Fishing Charters, and he did me a solid and took me out to the Ranfurly Banks. And I just talked about what I was doing. And anyway, we ended up filming this 12-minute pilot, and I was just like, well, it's kind of up to the universe now, see what happens. And yeah, it was kind of bizarre because I got this phone call from Adam Clancy, who does a fishing show, and his show had just moved from Prime TV over here to TV1, I think it was. And
Yep.
so there was a spot, and he said, look, I hear that you have an idea for a chicks fishing show. And I said, yeah, I do. And so he said, well, what do you reckon? Like, if you want to give me your pilot, I'll put it in front of the right people at Prime. And I was like, well, if this isn't a sign from the universe, I don't know what is. So he put it in front of the right people for me, which was amazing. And then I got the call to say, here you go, give us 13 episodes in 3 months' time. And I went, oh,
3
okay.
months. Wow, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real pressure right there.
I think it was 6 months, but the point where I signed ADOS back then, it was ADOS was our number one naming rights sponsor before we had Tradesphone. And the deal was that they gave me $1 per season, the network. So I had to pay for it all myself or get sponsors and advertise those sponsors through the show, and that's how the show was paid for. So the first year was really a labour of love, a lot of, I got a few sponsors, but it was, you know, I took out my own loans to make it happen, and I sold my car and my boat at the time, put that into it, and I've never really got that back, but it doesn't matter because, you know, when you're doing something that you're just so passionate about it,
Yep.
everything just kind of falls into place, I think.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear. So, so obviously, you're no longer making the show. Do you have any plans to do something in that field again in the future?
I will always be fishing.
Yeah,
there's
of course.
no two ways about that. I don't know what's next in terms of what I'll do for like the show. I feel like that's done now. I feel like I've done 7 years of that, and
Yep.
I'm pretty proud of what my team and I have created there, and I feel like that's happily done now.
Yep.
But I mean, I always will be in love with the ocean. So who knows what's next? You know,
Yeah.
definitely not a fishing show, but it could be something else fun to do with the ocean. You know,
Yeah.
kind of leaving it open. I don't really have plans, to be honest. I'm just really enjoying being a mum, and
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying getting out there with Oscar and my husband, and you know, there's a different kind of pressure when you're not filming.
Yeah.
You guys will know what that's like.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, the
And
pressure comes off, and then the fish go on. So
yeah, the fish don't cooperate, and and we're not even on a TV station anymore. We're just uploading to YouTube, and
yeah.
we end up getting very frustrated still that we can't get the amount of content up that we want. So
Yeah, so now we're podcasting
yeah,
and talking about fishing.
now we're talking to people.
Yeah.
We've decided just to talk to people that are better than us.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing. I had no idea that you set that show up all on your own. So
Yeah.
I actually thought you won the Matt Watson apprentice show. That's how you got your show.
Nah, Nah, I came third, and I won a trip over to Australia with them.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, I did learn a lot about production going on that, and I learned a lot of things that I know I don't want to be doing in
Yep.
production as well. But at the same time, it was an experience, and I'm grateful for that. But there was after that, I didn't really have anything to do with Matt Watson. So.
Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. Learn a little bit and then went and did your own thing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if we can go back a ways, am I right in saying you grew up at Motiti Island? Have I said that right? With my Aussie accent? Yeah. Yep. So,
so it's Motiti, yeah.
Yep. Oh, very good. Very good.
So where's that? Is that in the Bay of Plenty, is it? Or
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's off the coast, the coast there off Pasamoa and the Bay of Plenty. And my dad's twin sister and her husband have a farm out there. So we've been going out there. I didn't live there full time, but we've been going out there since I can remember. I think I learned to walk in the fields out there, and I certainly learned to drive in the fields out there. So that's why I'm probably such a bad driver. But no, we fished hard when I was younger, and I fell in love with fishing out there. That's where it began for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what sort of stuff were you catching out there? Like snapper and your bread and butter sort of stuff? And
it started small. It was like blue mau mau.
Yep.
My uncle used to say to me, if you can catch blue mau mau with your soft mouths, Nikki, you can catch anything.
Yeah.
And then it progressed onto like the Jack Mac, and then it progressed, and then it was snapper and kahawai, and then kingfish, and then the rest. But I actually learned to get a lot of the bigger fish when I was much older, with some friends of mine in the far north of New Zealand. But the addiction certainly began when I was little out at my city.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So you hone your skills with the small stuff, and then when it came time to the big stuff, so the mau mau have soft mouths, but stuff like swordfish have soft mouths as well. So it's all very applicable, isn't it? It's just upscaled a little bit.
Yep. So what's the one species that absolutely drives you crazy? Like you want to get at it and try catch it, and what pushes you?
The one that I dream about?
Yeah.
Almost every night, swordfish.
Swordfish.
I'm obsessed with them. I cannot get enough. I think, I have thought about wanting a record for swordfish for years, and I couldn't believe it when I got one. It was just mind blowing how it all came about. It was I actually printed off. I printed off the International Game Fishing Association world record application form about a year before I got that record. And we never really chased records. We didn't have time because we were so busy filming, trying to get those 13 awesome episodes. So there was just no extra time to almost waste time on losing fish. So I had my eye on the 15 kilo record, but because I think it was only 140 kilos at the time, but I was like, man, that's so achievable here in New Zealand. You could get, our average fish here is 150, 200 kilos.
Yep.
So, we just have to be patient and work hard, chase it down, But anyway, we kept trying to find that gap, and that particular week, the fishing wasn't actually that hot. We were running behind our deadline. We ended up doing a kids fishing episode with a 9-year-old boy called Luca, targeting kingies, and then we did a day blue marlin fishing, and we got nothing. We sucked completely. And the father of the kid who we were staying with, who's friends of ours, we were all staying at their batch in Whangaroa, and he said to me, hey, Nikki, my son had the best day of his life. We're just so grateful that you took him out. So I'm just going to give you the keys to our batch for this week.
Oh, wow.
We have to go home, but here's the keys. And I was like, oh, wow, thank you. That is amazing because, we run really tight budgets and stuff. We don't have extra money for
100%.
So anywhere we can save money, I'm like, thank you. So
we feel you.
when he gave me the keys, we knew we were going to go sword fishing, and I was going to go over to the Hoki, and I was like, oh, maybe this is just the universe telling us to stay here. So we literally, we stayed in Whangaroa, and thank God that we did, because the next morning we went out, and the day before when we were leaving the harbour chasing the blues, I had my massive arrow squids in my chili bin. I had like chili bin. I had about
Esky, chili bin,
10 of them.
whatever.
SD chili bin. I had 10 of these massive arrow squids in my chili bin, and I saw my friend Captain Phil, and he was heading out of harbour, and I said, "Oh, you going sword fishing?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Do you get some big arrow squids?" And he goes, "No, I couldn't find any." I said, "Oh, here, take these." And I
Oh, wow.
threw him over 2, and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much." I was like, "Oh, good." And anyway, at the end of the day, we stuck with our blue marlin fishing, and he comes in and he's got 100 and I think it was like a 200 kilo. No, I can't remember the size. It was like 150 or 200 kilo sword. Anyway, don't quote me on that. But
Oh, wow.
he comes in with a sword, and it was just like, oh my God. And he was so grateful that we'd given him, and he caught them on our baits that we shared. So
Yep.
he was like, "Hey, man, like, don't tell anyone, but here is the mark." And I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
Ooh.
I was like, "Wow, thank you." So it was like,
The world's
Give
throwing
us
back the
that.
karma.
yeah, we'll give him this mark, and I'd never been sword fishing out of there before, so I was like, oh, this really just feels like I'm meant to just go in this direction. So
Yep.
we just followed it.
How many Ks offshore?
Oh, I can't tell you that. No.
Right. Well, we're on our way.
Yeah.
It was a fair way. I'll say it was a fair way.
Yep.
But we're leaving from Whangaroa, so it was basically the southern end of the garden patch.
Yep. So off the bay, plenty there still, is it?
No, this is far north. So I
far
live
north.
up.
Adrian,
north of Auckland.
you don't know your New
Yeah.
Zealand geography, mate.
I
Let us
do
down.
I do go there a lot because my wife, her family live in Kawakawa, so we go up there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite a lot. So yeah.
Oh, all right,
Awesome.
fine. Do better next time, then.
So we went out and like we were playing Red Hot Chili Peppers on the way out, and all of us were just like agreeing on how mean the feeling was that morning. And then
Yep.
we got out there and we actually drifted away from the spot, but we found some other ground really close, and it just felt really good. And so we did our first drop, and I stitched the bait and put it down, and then you just start falling asleep looking at like staring at the rod tip, and then okay, let's crank up a bit, and then nothing's happening here. Okay, so we pulled it up, went back around, found another good little spot with lots of bait. So then we put the second bait down, and yet again staring at the rod tip so hard that you just feel like going cross-eyed and almost falling asleep.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you just hear that amazing sound of dook, dook, dook,
Ooh.
dook. And we're just like, and we're like, please don't be anything starting with this except the swordfish. And it turns out, it was definitely a sword. We just knew the way that it took, the way that the line went slack and it started coming up. We were like, oh my God, we are on.
Yep.
So I put my gimbaled harness on, and it's really funny because what I've learned with swordfish over the years is that a lot of swordfish, because they're such messy eaters, they come in and they whack the bait and they want to confuse their prey. So they've just stunned it. And if you can imagine, they've come in and they've hit your bait with their sword, then they go away and then they come back and really target to eat it, right? So, you're basically about 50% of the time, maybe a little bit less, because they're such messy eaters, they get snagged on like their soft gel type flesh, right?
Yep.
So 50% of the time, you might have a tangle or you might be hooked in their gut or whatever. And basically, if you're going to lose a sword, I would rather lose it then and there rather than in 2 hours' time. So I've learnt from some of my best teachers have taught me just to put that drag right up from the beginning. So
a lot of
we
people
went
say that.
straight up.
Yep.
And that was that video that I posted to my social media. It was one of my favourite videos I've ever got. Is just that line, that pinging sound is just like addictive, and it's just, I just love it. It crackles and anyway. So 22 kilos of drag, and it's just peeling like there's nothing on it, and it was really painful, but it only went on for about an hour, it was crazy. We saw the fish jump out of the water. You can see the episode on YouTube. And when we saw its shoulders come out of the water, we just all looked at each other and our jaws just dropped, and we had to blur it out, but there was profanity everywhere. And we just went, okay, well, that's definitely coming home with us.
Sorry, I tried to get your YouTube link up there and it went to some strange screen and I had a freak out. So, but that's all right. Yeah. So sorry, carry on. Yep. So mid-fight. Yep.
So we're hooked up to this monster, and we're just like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And we knew, because we were using a J hook, we could see that it wasn't in the mouth, it was further down. So we're like, okay, we're going to have to take it home.
Yep.
And you're not going to believe this, but halfway through the fight, we see a baby whale try to impede in between the line and the fish.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Sorry, the fish in our boat. And I'm thinking to myself, if this whale touches the line, it's going to snap.
Yep.
So we're like at the ready with another arrow. So we're going, okay, we're going to fling this in the other direction like you would a dog treat if this goes sour. But it's just crazy. It was just mayhem. It was the quickest hour of my life. And yeah, we got this beast boat side, and we just couldn't believe the enormity of its stomach. And when it just rolled on its side, it was like,
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It was, unfortunately, it was puckered by the time we got it to the boat anyway, so it was definitely coming home. But I had to reach all the way down to my shoulder to get the hook out.
Oh wow. Yep.
So it was hooked really well.
Yeah. If you're gonna hook them and you're happy to take them home, then that gives you a bit of confidence when you can't see where you can see the hooks disappeared down the gullet there. You know that it's probably somewhere down in a pretty secure spot.
Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to have let it go if it was a good nick, but there was just when you can't see the hook in its mouth, you just know, you know. And I mean, if you're using J's, you have to be prepared to take them home, and you know, we'll never say no to a feeder swordfish. So
no, it's amazing.
Never goes to waste.
Yeah.
And if anything, that fish actually got mounted twice. The full body mount is actually in one of the tackle stores here in New Zealand, and my dad wanted a mount as well, and he's got the entire fish on the outside of his house.
On the outside of his house, so
proud as punch.
Yep.
He's like,
my daughter got that world record.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, I've definitely watched that footage a few times, and it's it's pretty impressive. It's intense, and it's an absolute credit to you because you only beat a fish that big that quickly through really good angling, and you definitely put the pressure to that fish. I know when we've had swordfish on, we haven't been game to go that hard on them. So you've done very well there, very well indeed. So with it getting mounted, so you got to eat some of the fish, or was that you got to take some home?
We had to make the decision between turning the entire fish into one massive piece of art.
Yep.
Or because the reason that they use it wouldn't be safe to eat.
Yeah.
And I made the choice. I thought to myself, you know what? A fish like this was caught, you know, like not very often. I mean, it was breaking a 65-year standing record, sorry.
Yeah. By
17 kilos. And, you know, the record that it broke was a fish caught in Chile. It's just so unusual for a fish that size and that enormity to be caught. I was like, we actually need to bless the fish by turning it into art.
Yeah.
So we decided not to eat it.
Yep.
And I also kind of thought, well, if it was like an old snapper, you know, it probably wouldn't taste as good because it's so old. So let's turn it into a full body mount.
Yep.
And really praise that fish for what it was.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's a great way to look at it.
So swordfish are funny. Like it's one thing to get a bite and hook it up, and then one thing to actually land it. But then it's almost like a lucky dip in the size you catch. Like, what were you?
For sure.
We need you to come and help us, Nikki. It's been 3 years since we've caught one, and we've barely had a bite. We started off all right. We caught a few at the start there, and then things have gone a little bit downhill. And you say they're the fish of your dreams, and I say they're the fish of my nightmares.
Oh, we've lost a few. Don't worry. Our fishing is nowhere near perfect. Like we've lost a lot more than we've caught. Trust me.
Yeah.
But man, when you do get those really special days and you get them, it's just like, oh man, this is just what life is about, you know?
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So we do get some big ones over here too. You might have heard about the one that I think was 420 something kilo a couple of years ago. So
yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to come out with us,
Victoria as well and stuff. There's big ones here and
Sorry, that one was off Malakuta in Victoria. So
yeah, a couple of 380s and stuff being caught, and incredible.
So that is now the benchmark for us over here. But yeah, we'd just like to see another one. Actually, it's been a little while. So yeah, we'll definitely.
I don't even think it matters the size. Like
No.
we went over to Florida for my husband Matt and I. We got married a few years ago, and for our honeymoon, we went to Florida to fish with Nick Stanzik.
Yep.
And we both caught swords, and it was so special. We actually grabbed a cameraman and filmed it as an episode, honeymoon episode. And they weren't any massive size compared to the fish that we get here in New Zealand, but it doesn't matter. Like the fish are just so special. They're just I don't know. I'm just like obsessed with them. I just love them so much. And I really miss fishing for them, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you can't tell.
Oh well, if you ever want to come and jump on with us and drive 100 kilometres to sea and show us how it's done, then you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Keep that in mind. I'm keen.
Yeah.
And same goes. I mean, hey, I don't know how well Kelly's going to be set up, but I don't know how much fuel we're going to have in the tank or anything, but you guys are always welcome to come over here and come fishing as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's the challenge. So Adrian's got a 4.2 metre tinny that he thinks he's going to catch a swordfish out of. So smaller the better.
Hey, we've already caught marlin and tuna in tinnies and stuff before. So yeah. We're going to try catch a sword in a 4.2 metre tinny soon. So
Adrian is.
Yeah.
I'll be safety boat, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So,
it's classic.
yeah, we'll see what happens with that one anyway. But so just touching on being that strong female role model in the sport, have you sort of found that there's a lot more girls coming into the sport now, and I'm sure you have had an influence in that. Have you had a few people come up to you and thank you? And I'm sure you have. That have seen your show and it's inspired them.
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of, especially dads, come up to me at like the fishing shows, or we get messages to the Facebook page or whatever, and they're like, "Thank you," because I think there probably was quite a few girls out there like me that just didn't understand why there wasn't girls out there doing it, because there's no reason we can't, and so I've had quite a few mums and dads, and some guys like, "Thanks to your show, my wife sees that another girl's out there doing it, so it means I can go out fishing with her and we can get a bigger boat." So it's actually worked quite well for a few families.
Yeah.
But you do get some really cute kids like every year at the fishing shows. That's something I'm going to miss with not doing the shows. I have like what I call like my little regular little fishing buddies that I see only ever that once a year at like the boat show or whatever. The kids that come every year and get a photo and want to tell me about their catch. And, I really miss that side of it.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it sounds like that you're going through a beautiful stage of your life as it is at the moment, and you'll be back out there very soon harassing all the creatures of the deep anyway.
Yeah, and I'm, I think we'll be doing a lot more inshore stuff, to be honest, with little Oscar, but, just catching gurnard and going diving and jumping off the boat and, enjoying all that there is. It's not just fishing. Like, I look so much further into things now. We've got seals. We live in one of the most beautiful parts of New Zealand. Of course, I'm biased, but we live in a town called Mangawai, and it's got this beautiful estuary that runs through it. And, there's seals. And
we can see that in the background there. You've got an estuary behind you.
Yeah. Looks like the tide's out.
Yeah. The tide is out. We just recently, my husband and I traded in a nice new home to buy a really old house, but right next to the water. So we're living. So we've gone backwards in terms of our modern lifestyle, but wouldn't change it for the world. We're just loving being so close to the water. It's very special.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I've done slightly similar myself, so just means that there's you have to, when it's windy, it just means you have to do more work on the house, unfortunately, but it's a pretty good trade-off.
Yeah. And you've got a little one on the way, I hear.
Yeah, I do, yeah. So, we're due mid-Jan, so little boy. So, yeah, I think exactly what you were saying before is right. You don't want to take the kids out and scare them by having them out there for hours on end in the cold, trying to catch that one fish. I think start it with small stuff like our bait fishing and constant action and short trips, and I think that's 100% the way to go. So I'll definitely be doing that. And Adrian's...
Keep the sword fishing till he's like 2 or something.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll struggle to take my 3-year-old daughter squid fishing.
How did that go?
Yeah, not good. Not good. We got to a spot where there's squid everywhere, and we had about 30 squid around the boat, and we caught 2, and my daughter wanted to go home, so we went home.
I think she was actually mad. She was mad at Adrian because he left her rod at my house, which is half an hour down the road. So she came storming into my house the next day, demanding I hand it over.
Yeah.
So I think she thought that I'd had a special rod and was using it without her. So
Yeah. Like, so I bought her a little kitty rod, and she wants that all the time with her when she's on the boat. So.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
That's cool. It's awesome that she's into fishing.
Yeah. Yep. No. Yeah, we plan on doing a lot of fishing trips. I guess when restrictions ease up. So, yeah, I want to get into the Eildon cod and stuff. I don't know if you know about Murray cod and all that. So.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience in that.
Yeah. So they're basically an Australian native, and I think they're one of the largest freshwater fish in the world. So back in the day, they used to fish them quite heavily, and they did a lot of damage to the stocks. But there was like stories of like massive fish, well over 100 pounds, well over, I believe. Yeah. And yeah, so they were a little bit decimated because obviously people were catching them and selling them and poaching them and all that sort of thing. But yeah, probably over the last decade, they've made a really strong recovery. They've been stocked really heavily into impoundments and back into their native habitats. And yeah, it's now a thing that we can go and do and target them. I mean, we're crap at it, but we'll get there. But yeah, no, that's going to be a really fun journey. Chucking big lures at these big cod, it's pretty exciting. So hopefully we'll...
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, your tackle box is basically a box of animals like birds and lizards and rats and all that kind of stuff. It's all just fun and yeah. So that's a uniquely Australian fishery. So hopefully we'll have a good crack at that. And yeah, as we were saying, that's going to be pretty family friendly because you can go camping and enjoy that aspect of it, and then me and Adrian can sneak off fishing for a couple of hours on sunset. Hopefully, it probably won't go down that way, but we'll try. All right, Nikki. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate your time.
No worries.
Yeah, no worries at all. So best of luck with the future and the fishing and little Oscar there. And as we said, hopefully when the world opens up again, we'll be able to catch up and enjoy some fishing in each other's countries. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be real cool. We should do like a cross the ditch fishing trip together. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. We'll definitely be doing that. And
I'll no doubt be over there soon, as soon as the borders open, to see the in-laws.
Your wife is over.
Oh, no, she's here, but her parents live over there, so we try to go over as much as possible, but obviously with all the restrictions, it's a bit hard, but yeah. So I'll no doubt be over there in the very near future. So I'll try to catch up with you and go fishing.
Yeah, that'd be real cool. Thanks so much for having me. It's awesome to chat with you guys.
No worries at all. Hopefully you can come on again when we're a little bit more slick, and we'll ask you a whole... we'll get some more questions together for you, and we'll speak to you then.
All good, man. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, Nikki. See ya.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. Have you actually hung up there, or have you just left Nikki hanging?
What do I do? Do I hang up?
Yeah, we'll hang up on our end, and you hang up on your end. See ya. So smooth, Adrian.
Yeah, very smooth with the technology.
Yeah, so that was awesome to hear from Nikki, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, no, it's bloody awesome hearing her perspective on fishing, and I had no idea that she started the show all on her own. I guess her own whim, that just said, "Nah, I'm doing it," and she put all her money and effort into doing that. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, that's just. Yeah, it's one of those great stories of when you really want something, you go out and get it. And she did that all off her own bat, and slight parallels with some of the stuff we've done, I guess. But maybe we've had a little bit easier of a journey than she has. So definitely a big pat on the back to her, and can't wait to see what she's going to do in the future, and hopefully we can get out for that fish with her.
Yep. No, looking forward to that.
Now, Adrian,
Yes.
moving on.
Yep. What's happened?
We've had some eating. We had one eating challenge
Oh, yes.
where you gave me a ghost chili.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, I did walk off and we cut the footage, but the aftermath of that was pretty hard. Went and found some milk and tried to soak it up with some bread and ran around like a crazy man.
Yep.
So anyway, since then I've plotted my revenge a little bit. And I couldn't do it on the last episode because it required a fresh ingredient that I didn't have.
Well, we got one now,
But I did manage to get that fresh ingredient just recently. And you actually were quite a good sport, I must admit.
yeah. No, well, I actually thought he was going to poison me at one stage.
Yeah, you were just about to go on a fishing trip, and I think you were a little bit worried that I was going to make that trip very uncomfortable for you with an eating challenge type thing. But I didn't do that to you.
Well, I stopped by Dave's house to steal some bait out of his freezer again because we heavily stock that with a bag limit of squid.
It's not stocked at the moment.
No,
We've raided it.
Yeah. And he stopped me and said, no, you're going to do your eating challenge now. So
Well, all right, we'll throw to that footage. Let's
Yeah.
have a look at this.
yeah, for fishing like John.
So we have to pre-record
Yeah, so
this week's
There's
food
me.
eating challenge due to freshness reasons. So what I've prepared for you, Adrian. Do you know what I've got for you?
Probably the hottest fucking atomic bomb in the
world.
I had no idea
No.
what was going on here.
But I've caught this especially for you.
Oh, squid eye. Snapper eye.
Snapper
Oh,
eye.
no, it's a snapper eye.
Yeah, I thought you'd try and pretend that you'd want to eat it.
I thought you were going to get some atomic fucking nuclear.
I've got
times 10.
some Tommy sauce for you to put on it. That was pretty.
We've got,
kind. I gave you
know
some
what goes
sauce.
good to that? Tabasco.
Oh, there's a scale on it.
Yeah,
You don't want the scale.
Tabasco. Do I have to eat the whole thing?
Have a crack.
Don't they?
It's on some sauce.
Where's the vomit corner in case it goes? It's a real eyeball. That look like my eye?
Yeah,
Same colour shade?
it looks nice and fresh.
I literally ate it and juices just exploded in my mouth here.
Tried to find a spew corner.
Yeah. Oh, I can't eat it.
That wasn't it.
Turned my stomach.
What did it taste? What did it
There's
taste
more
like?
to
this, Adrian.
No, I took it.
Keep her running.
I
Keep her
crunched
running.
it, and then this like gel just like.
Because I
came.
believe you go back for seconds.
Sorry to the fans.
Oh, you gave it a crack. Oh, look at that.
Look at that
That
jelly.
was
Oh
that
my
was
goodness.
oozing in my mouth.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
that is probably.
No, I'm really Keep impressed going. that you actually tried So you that. eat this.
I almost vomited. Will. Do you want to finish it, Dave, for me?
Yeah, it's been in your mouth. Otherwise, for sure. If only they had a second eyeball for me to
Oh
eat.
my god! I
Yeah,
got the actual.
that's
What do
cool.
you call that there? Do you want me to eat that?
Yeah, eat it. It's rock hard.
So I thought that would be soft, and it
No.
got stuck to my teeth. Oh, that's not good. I actually did have a vomit there. No, the actual the core.
Oh, iris. Is that the iris?
I don't know.
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
Adrian went back for the cornea. I've been told that's what that part was. Which how was that one?
Well, yeah, I didn't like it at all, especially the cornea glass eyeball thing, because that got stuck in my teeth and really made me gag. But actually, later that night, when I was cleaning a fish at midnight at the ramp, I had about a 5 kilo snapper and it was full of roe. And I asked Brendan to eat it. He didn't want to eat it, did he?
No, but I believe you had a go at it, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a go at it.
Have you got that footage?
I'm not sure. Do you?
I might do. Hang on a second. I'm having a look for you.
Yeah, but anyway,
Here we go.
yeah,
Let me get this up. Hang on.
yeah. Well, Dave's.
Here we go. Switch to phone mode.
I've I've switched it.
Dave,
Here we,
you wouldn't be happy.
We got audio on that one.
Yeah.
It's an abortion. You wouldn't have been happy. That one, nothing. I'm happy with that. That'll do me beautifully.
So Adrian's filleting his snapper.
and Brendan was
You can
bagging
have
my
one,
filleting with a blunt knife.
No, Dave's got some for me,
I've got
apparently.
some roe for you. That's good on the fry
Anyway,
pan.
I'm
I'll
getting
film
into
it now.
roe.
All right. If you turn your light off, your mouldy for your daughter, for the mouldy. Come on,
Why did you do that?
Because
Swallow.
go on.
You've got it.
Show us. You've done it. You're
Definitely
nearly
in
there.
there.
You're 90% there. You did it. Oh no!
The old hide it under your tongue
He's putting it
trick.
under his
Yep.
tongue.
exactly. And then there was this random at the ramp.
Yep.
We had no idea who he was,
shit.
and
Do you want me to back it
he's
up
just
and
like,
take it
"Oh,
out
I'll
front?
eat it."
Oh, here we go.
So
Wind
check-
against
check this
tide.
guy out.
Wind against tide. That's how it is.
Here you go.
I don't know
I
if
gave him
Brendan's
the
saying
sperm
that,
sack
but-
instead. No. He's eating the roe.
He just inhaled. I have no idea who he is, but
And
well
you
done.
can tell he really enjoyed that. There's people that really do like eating that roe. To them, that's not a challenge.
Yeah.
And you guys made it look like it was horrible.
Anyway, I think that's it for this week's podcast. Thanks
it?
for listening to us. Oh,
You all done?
you're not done?
Nah, I'm pretty well done. That's two food challenges, so that means I have to do one as well, I guess.
Yep. Next week.
Next week. See you guys.
See ya.